Good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to the third day of the conference. This is our third day at the convention, and I'm sure we're all looking forward to the presentations of today, although I'm sure we're also very tired. This is our fourth Hot Topics session, and we have two speakers. Well, we had scheduled 4 speakers, but 2 speakers have showed up. So we have 2 speakers presenting today. They will present each half an hour, and then we will have 15 minutes for Q&A. I'd also like to tell you that this session is being webcast, so it'll be available on YouTube for you to also see at a later time. Our first speaker this morning is called Yang Chang, and she is in the States, but she is originally from China. Okay, and she will be talking about incorporation of Instagram in language teaching. Welcome to the podium.
Hi, good morning, and I think I'll get started. My name is Tiffany. You can call me Tiffany, and I'm a non-native speaker of English. I'm from China, and my Chinese name is Zhang Yiyuan. And today my presentation is about the incorporation of Instagram in language instruction. So I'm now pursuing my Master's of Arts in TESOL program in Pepperdine University in California. And our program used many technology tools to help us understand how can we incorporate technology into language instruction. So firstly, I want to ask you, have you used social media or Instagram or any other kinds of social media tools in your classroom? Yeah, I see. Yeah, I see some. Yeah. Okay. So we'll talk about the use of Instagram specifically in this presentation. And my agenda for today is, firstly, I'll talk about why I use Instagram and what goals I want to achieve by using Instagram, and the 4 specific ways of use that. And the last one is the tips of using Instagram in language classroom. So the first reason I think using Instagram is very important is that the increasing popularity of using social media such as Instagram or YouTube or Facebook is very important to help students develop their digital literacy and to have students find their role in the 21st century, right? This is the era of technology. And the second one is that the trend and necessity of having the learner-centered classrooms and to trigger students' motivation, specifically intrinsic motivation, is very important to have students know why I'm here to learn and to enjoy the learning environment. And last one, I think the limited number of research or guidelines for using Instagram is of limited number, so I want to talk about how we can use Instagram. The goals I want to achieve for students to use Instagram to develop their digital literacy, first one is that they will improve their intercultural communicative competence through communicating with peers and teachers on various topics of such as home cultures or stories that happened in their family. So this is very interesting. And also, students will develop their sociocultural and linguistic competence and their sociocultural and linguistic capital to know and to understand their self-identity and to construct this self-confidence of expressing and reinforcing their identities. And lastly, to help students engage in class activities and to have them feel the ownership of learning is very important, so they know I can control my own learning and I can control what I want to post about what I learn. So the first one I want to talk about is community building. So students will, the teacher will open a class account, an individual class account for the course or for the class, and the students will run the class weekly. So we'll have a student leader each week to run the account and control the activity of that account. And the leaders will write a prompt post on Instagram, and other students or the teacher can follow up to write their answers and discussions about the prompt post. And then the leader can screenshot all of the posts and the comments to make a collection using the story function of Instagram. And I will show you how to use this through my phone. This takes about 5 seconds, so please wait. So students can open their Instagram account, and we have a individual class account for them. For example, this is the individual class account, and the student leader of that week will know the password and the username of that account, and they will click the plus button, and they will write a post. For example, they go to the Coca-Cola Center, and they will write a prompt post like, I love drinking Coca-Cola. And what are your feelings of Coca-Cola? Like a prompt post to have students express their feelings. And with the hashtag, this is important to track the progress. So have the hashtag of the course name. For example, we have TESOL week 1. And students can share this. And after students share this, other students and the teacher can write follow-up posts and follow-up comments for this prompt post. And after that, the student leader will screenshot this post and screenshot the comments. So for example, I'm screenshotting now. And the student leader can use the story function. The story function is when you are on your home page. This is the home page, and you swipe right. And this is, you can upload the photo. You can upload the screenshot. Maybe you can say this is the week 1 post, and students can have their stickers on that, which is really interesting, I think. Maybe yes. And students can share to their story by clicking the left bottom icon, your story. And students will share on their story function of Instagram. And there will be a pink circle here. So other students can click this and see, oh, this is what we have for week A for this specific course, which is really important for building the community for students to have them understand that we're in the community of learning this course, and the teacher and other peers are here to support the student leader. So the second one is video of the day. I like this one, very important. This one is very important because it can help students to construct their self-identity, which is very important for ESL learners to say what they want to say about their home culture and home languages. So students will record a video on the story function of Instagram every day on their individual accounts. This is not the class account, but the individual account. And the students will provide peer feedback and learning from each other about other cultures. And then the teacher will provide individual comments to the student, and then the students at the end of the semester can screenshot, can upload the stories to make a collection of their Instagram account. I'll show this. So students will open their Instagram and swipe right to open the story function of Instagram. Not only can they upload photo or videos from their phone, they can also record. So for example, if I'm now recording a video about maybe something that happened in my family or in my home country, and then I can share to my story or write something that helps my peers to understand what I'm talking about in this story. And then I can share to my story, and other people can see it. The reason why I like this video of the day activity is that the teacher can provide individual feedback to the students because other students cannot see the comments. So if I'm clicking this and I'm sending message, maybe this clapping hands, other students, other account users cannot see this, but under the owner of this account. And also another reason I like this is that the stories expire after 24 hours. So students need to check their peers' activities like immediately every day. This is very good, I think. And for the third one is development tracking. So development tracking is using the hashtag. Here my recommendations are using the hashtag my academic word list, my grammar log, my takeaway from school, my slang of the day, or my cultural secrets to have students track their progress, and the instructor can track students' progress as well, to have students write a post every day. For example, students can write the post of hashtag my academic word list, attend. Attend means to show up on a meeting or to show up on a course, and students can choose a picture that they think can represent the meaning of attend to make a post. And then after a semester, at the end of the semester, students can click on the hashtag my academic word list and see all of the posts that they have done. So students can track their progress like explicitly, and the instructor can see that. So I think this is very good for maybe have students attract their academic studies and also their cultural carry-ons. And then the last one I recommend is project collecting. So at the end of each semester, if students have a major task or a project, the teacher can take photos or record videos of students doing that presentation and upload to the story function of Instagram that I just showed to you. And and the teacher can provide comments, encouraging comments to the students with the text, with the AA icon of the story function, and make a collection of that after students all have done their project. I'll show you how to make a collection of the story. So if we go to our home page, click on our profile page, there's an icon that's called New. And when you click it, you can see all of the stories that you have posted. And you can choose someone, maybe this one and that one, and click Next. The students can choose whatever they like. Maybe students record something that they don't like later, so they can just choose whatever they like. And then students can say maybe TESOL convention to have a collection of that story, which is amazing because when students have multiple collections of their account here, the maybe the HR or the professors thought that they will think, oh, this is good because I can see what you did and I can see what this class did. So yeah, these are the 4 techniques I recommend for using Instagram. And this is just an example of this one. This one is the example of how I use project collecting in my class. So I take photos of everyone's project. They have a poster session. So sometimes they have simultaneous sessions, so students cannot see other students' work. If I take photos of that and upload to the story function on Instagram, students can see, oh, my peer did this and my peer did this. And also students can see the constructive feedback I have for them. So I will give them constructive feedback and also include their name because name carry cultural meanings to them. So name is very important to give these comments to them. And yeah, these are another example of using that. So I will lastly talk about some tips of using Instagram. The first one of that is called the pull function, which you can see from the story. Swipe right to see the story, and you can just take a picture. Maybe I'll just take this picture. And when you click the middle icon, the middle one, here are the poll. So maybe I can obtain feedback from the students, like what do you think of today's presentation? Or what do you think today's activity of my life in apps? So students can choose yes or no. I can get students immediate and honest feedback because other students cannot see it. So maybe this will be more honest for them. And the other one is the scale. Here is the scale function. I can use that to obtain feedback. Also, like, what do you think of today's activity? And students can choose the scale, maybe 30% or 60% or 90%, or I like it perfect. And students can choose the emojis to represent their feelings. I think this is great for making learning fun. And the third one is to use this question, the middle one of the third line, to use this question function to ask a question and to get like detailed feedback from the students. And also this is individual and private, so other students cannot see them. And the last one of the recommendations is to use countdown. I like this because I can maybe say Chinese New Year and type a date, and students will see, oh, I have maybe 30 days for the Chinese New Year to present my culture or to introduce to other persons what I think about this festival. So this is important. And also I can type the midterm and the date of that to remind students, oh, we have a test maybe tomorrow or 1 week later. So these are my tips for using other functions of Instagram. And the last two tips I want to remind you is that firstly, we should have students open an individual account, the professional account for their activity, and also the teacher should open a professional individual account because we do not want to see too many personal things on Instagram. And also the second and the last tip is that to be to be professional, and to be supportive to everyone's post and comments to provide encouraging feedback. Yes. So here are my references, and I'm really nervous because this is my first conference, international conference presentation, and thank you very much for attending. And here are my contact information. You can scan the QR code to access to my slides. And if you have any questions or suggestions, please reach out to me. I'm a technology lover, and I'm more than happy to discuss more with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Mahjabin Chowdhury, and she will be discussing investigating the belief of pre-service ELL teachers about the benefits of game-based learning. Welcome.
Hello, can you hear me at the back? Good. Hello, good morning, and I'm Mahjabin Chowdhury from Texas A&M University. And today I'm going to be presenting my paper on investigating the beliefs of pre-service ELL teachers about the benefits of game-based language learning. I want to take a moment and acknowledge my co-author, Dr. Zohar Islami. I have worked on this project with her. She's not present today, but I wanted to acknowledge her as well. So for our agenda for this presentation kind of goes like this. We are going to be talking about a little bit about digital game-based learning, difference in the perception of the pre-service teachers, purpose of the study, method, data analysis, results, discussion, and references. So since this is about game-based language learning, so I would like you to first play a game with me first. So please, if you can, from your cell phone, could you go to kahoot.id? And you have to enter this game pin in your Kahoot. Okay, could you give me a thumbs up if you are in? Okay, good. So let's start. It's a very short game. I won't take much of your time, I promise. So let's start. Okay, did I forget to mention that this game is for grade 1 students? Okay, before we move on, so what this question is about, just a quick question, is it about vocabulary or was it about grammar? Vocabulary, right. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Delmi is still the first. Okay. Claudio beat Delmi right now. Okay. Okay, someone has missed it. Okay. Claudio is still the first. Now T is first. Okay. So Trisha, Elise, and Alma, could you raise your hands? Okay, don't forget to take your gift from me after the presentation. Okay. So before we move on with our presentation, as since we have played the game, have you seen that we have incorporated some of the language components in it? Like we can teach vocabulary. As you have already mentioned, we can teach preposition or grammatical components through this game, right? Or at least we can check there whether they have retained the knowledge already. So keep that in mind. We are going to present our presentation now. So first, I would like to tell you a little bit background about the digital game-based learning. So what is a digital game-based learning? It is kind of like the playful activity that incorporates the pursuit of quantifiable outcome, in the sense that there is a score or there is a point, as you have seen, like the most scorer, like the highest scorer, like got the first position, and kind of like that. And also on the other end, it incorporates the educational outcome or educational objective as well. So for example, we have incorporated through our questions like the vocabulary component or the grammatical component of the language. So why is it important to know about the perception or the attitude of the pre-service teachers about this game-based language learning? Since we have this modernized 21st century, technology has become more and more popular among the teachers as well as among the students. It's hard for our students to get rid of their screen time or from their tablets or laptops. And current literature has shown that pre-service teachers' attitudes actually kind of influences how, whether they will incorporate language learning games in the classroom or not. And in that thought flow, there is two different perceptions that are going on in the literature. On one side, we have these advocates of game-based language learning who says that game-based language learning can be motivating, it can reduce anxiety, it can focus the learner to communicate on meaning rather than focusing on the linguistic aspects of language, and it can also help the learner to give kind of a platform for them to express themselves. But on the other end, there is this another perception of debunkers who believe that it's kind of like icebreaker and it can be only for enjoyment. It can be used only in the rainy day, and it can only be used as gap fillers in the classroom. So, but studies in other countries like Greece have shown that perceptions of teachers can actually determine whether they're going to use the game-based language learning in the classroom, also how they're going to use it, when they're going to use it, how much they're going to use it. So there is need for investigation about the perception of pre-service English language learner teacher in the context of second language learning in USA. So because of this, we have conducted our study, and our study kind of investigates from that thought. We investigate the pre-service English language learner teacher's perception about the effectiveness of digital game-based language learning, or we can shortly call it DGBLL. Are you guys with me? Good. All right. So for the method of this study, we have conducted a survey. The participants for the study was 60 pre-service ELL teachers, 49% freshmen or sophomore, and 51% was junior and senior students. And this questionnaire was consisted of 25 questions. The first 4 questions was about the demographics of the students, like the year of their study, how much time they have spent on technological gadgets, and whether they have previous experience with the ELLs and game-based learning or not. The other 21 questions was about the participants' perception about the digital game-based learning. We have used the Likert scale ranging from 1 to 5, 1 being strongly disagree to 5 being strongly agree. So for the ease of the reporting of our results, we kind of place the survey items in 3 categories. So if the mean score was between 2.5 to 3.5, we put that into the neutral perception. below 2.5 was negative perception, and above 3.5 was positive perception. So from the result, from this table, you can see that there is kind of like the positive perception regarding the game-based language learning in the setting of elementary level classroom. The students said that games can increase ELL's language learning in the elementary level, and they will, as future teacher, they would support using digital games in the elementary level setting. And also you can see on the third statement that there is this negative perception, which kind of reconfirm the above two statement, in the sense that they are not interested in using digital games if it's not required by the curriculum. It's kind of the similar vein and the similar result for the middle school setting as well. Overall, they have positive perception about using digital games in the middle school setting, as well as in high school setting too. Do you need any clarification? Does anyone have any question yet? No, okay. All right. So after that, we have kind of did independent sample t-test to see whether the year of study has any effect on the perception of the students. And we have seen that with the year increase, or the as the year progresses, the students become more positively they perceive positive perception towards game-based learning with their year of study. So what it means is that the students who are in their third or fourth year have more positive perception towards digital game-based language learning than the students who are in their first or second year students. And if you look at the statements, it says that the games provide good model of language learning practices. The games can provide practice for language learning for the students. And also, digital games are essential for second language learning and teaching. And you can see the t-test has come out to be statistically significant among the two groups, confirming our statement. So also in the next three statement, again, it kind of displays the similar result. The students who are in their third or fourth year have more positive perception towards game-based language learning than the students who are in their first or second year of study. And they say that games may support ELLs with learning difficulties. It can promote peer interaction, and it has the opportunity to promote second language learning in a creative manner. So from our study and our findings, overall we found that the pre-service ELL teachers have positive perception about the digital game-based language learning in elementary, middle, and high school setting overall. Digital game-based language learning can help ELLs to practice their language skills. It can promote peer interaction. It can promote a good model of language learning practices, and it is really helpful for second language learning and teaching. From our independent sample t-test, we have found that the students who are in their third or fourth year of study, they have more positive perception comparing to the students who are in their first or second year of study. It may be because they have more exposure to the games, maybe because they are more exposed to the ELL students and field of experience, because third year and fourth year is kind of their field experience times as well, and they have more opportunity to interact with the ELL students at that point of time. Maybe that's a deciding factor too. So based on that, this is kind of like our finding. If you have any question, these are my references. Thank you, and if you have any question.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So do we have questions from the floor? I think two very interesting presentations. Game-based, especially now with our classrooms and students with technology in their hands all the time. I think you could take advantage of this and turn it to making it a proactive learning situation, as opposed to just having students playing around with their technology and you don't really have to struggle with them not paying attention to what's happening with the classroom and the content that you're trying to get out to them. So any questions from the floor? Yes. You need to speak into the microphone because for those of you who came later on in the session, this session is being webcast, so it'll be on a YouTube. We'll be giving you the YouTube link. Actually, it'll be on YouTube so that you can see the whole session from the beginning, in case you missed out.
Thank you. I have a question for Ms. Zhang about using Instagram.
Okay, you have to come here.
So my question is regarding assessments and how do you assess them? I mean, you mentioned how you give feedback online, and so that's sort of a formative assessment. But are you grading them? Are they getting points towards their course grade, and what do you do for that?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you. So I assess students based on their like the active interaction with each other, not just based on maybe grammar or the tense or things like very linguistic based. I based on their active, the level of engagement, and I give assessment. I gave comments to them. All of them are, I think, constructive feedback, and I do not give points to them because this for me is just like the participation discussion part, not just about like giving grade or something like that. Yeah, thank you.
Is that clear? I mean, yeah. Any other question? So I have a question. When you create the Instagram account, you limit who sees your account, you limit it just to your students? So everybody can see it? And the students can see everything that's on your account as well? Okay, so it's open. So you basically would create a base of many, 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 many friends. Okay. Yes. We have a question over there.
Hi. Good morning. I have a question about the topic about the game-based. Yes. So I was actually late, but I'm not sure if you already discussed about. I understand that it's interesting, but what about like the learning development? Was it they were struggling at the beginning in integrating the game base, and how is the result?
Okay. Thank you so much for your question. Actually, this study was about the perception of pre-service teachers, and it was an intervention study of the students. So it was basically the undergrad students who took part on the survey, and the undergrad students was like the students who were taking the ESL methods course currently, and it was actually their perception about like how much they have learned from the class, how much they think that game-based learning could be helpful for the ELL students, as well as from their field experience. So it was about that. But it's a very good question, and I would really like to further my research on that subject as well. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, so the speakers are available if you have private questions to speak to them or comments to make. They're available for the next few minutes, and I thank you for attending the session. I'm sorry we had 4 presenters. 2 presenters did not show up. Maybe visa issues, but they didn't contact us. So thank you for attending, and let me give you the address to our YouTube channel so that you can see this since you came late, you said. Do we have it up so that they can just copy it? Okay, great. So it'll be tinyurl.com/call-is-YouTube. You'll see this now in a minute. Okay. There we go. Thank you. So if you want to take a picture of it. The PowerPoints have not been uploaded onto the Call IS 2019. The PowerPoints are not there, but the YouTube has, you will be able to see the actual session. Thank you once again.